Hello there, kitties. I'm Carrie, the vacuum tube witch, again at the bench with the recapacitulation of this little amplifier that I'll be changing this double 4700 microfarad capacitor with 4 capacitors of 2200 connected in parallel in two groups. Wait until the soldering iron heats up, and I'll also be changing all the electrolytics here to make sure that this amplifier will not need any more maintenance for the years to come. Fume extractor is on. The iron is heated up. And let's start with removing the wires from the capacitor bank here. It's attached to the board here with two wires. Same function as zip ties. Should be another one on this end, I guess. Now I can remove the negative lead and or maybe the ground lead and the positive and negative leads of the big cap. It is removed. It was also attached with some kind of a glue. Scrape it off from the board. It's not going that easy. Maybe I should just leave it in place. And this is a jumper that goes from this point to this one, and it actually is found in the socket, so I will have to leave it in place. Get some wire over here because I will have to make some connections. This is positive, this is the negative. Needs the wire bonding pliers for making the connections here. I made it a little bit too short, but I don't really have to worry too much about it. Pretty well. Now with the other pair and the negative terminal, by the way, I just noticed that the stock Android camera application cuts the videos down to 4 gigabytes or something like that, and looked for an alternative. Found an open source application that might be in fact better than the stock one. So I think that it will no longer cut down the videos to chunks, because that was super fucking annoying. Because I still can't just edit the videos and splice them, and I don't really know how to do it. I haven't got it practiced. At this point, I'm keeping it simple. I'd rather be focusing on what I want to say and what I want to show rather than the video editing skills that I don't have. Okay, so that would be the negative side of this capacitor. And now it's time to connect them together. And in order to do that, I think I have to think about it, how I want to do it. I'd also like to connect the ground connection on the mains transformer to this little group of capacitors, and I think that I'll just daisy chain them just like this. Here goes nothing. That's one. Need to spread it out a little bit. That should do the trick. Indeed it does. And then another bend in here. And one more bend here. And a lug connection for the ground from the transformer here. And this also ensures that the ground on the transformer ends up right at the capacitors. Still a little adjustment to do here. Yeah, looks pretty nice if you ask me. This I can do a little tighter. This I can spread out. And then crimp those connections a little bit. And give it some warmth. Some warm and caring treatment here. Caring. I'm Carrie, after all. How can I not be caring? Anyway, this is the replacement capacitor for here. And now I need to clean the solder connections. Let me do it this way so that the solder can flow down the traces on the board. And now I can connect all those capacitor leads here. Maybe I should move it back just a little bit. Move the wire back with the tweezers. And yes, this is the position. It's not protruding over the upper edge of the amplifier. The enclosure can still fit in pretty nicely. Now I can bend those wires back, and that will provide some mechanical support. And now it's time to solder this in place. That was the large capacitor in the power supply. And it also has to be supported mechanically by means of that wire that I showed you. Now the part of the wire might be... It might be in fact the same length as what I had here. Or might be slightly longer, so that I just cut it back by a few centimeters and strip it and move the insulation just a wee bit here. See if... Oh, I can strip it just a little bit more here. Put one end of the wire here, bend it back just a tiny bit, and now I think I can solder it in place. Of course, careful not to make a short circuit with the adjacent trace here. And then the opposite side needs to go into the hole. Pull it as hard as I can, because this wire has to provide some mechanical support for the capacitors. It's an antique equivalent of a zip tie. Solder it in place and cut the excess part of it, just like this. And that would be it. I can also see lack of solder on this trace, being a little bit worrying for me. Give it some more. And now recapacitulation of those 100 microfarad 25 volts in the power amplifier circuit. The positive is marked on the PCB if you look here, and it's only a matter of finding a replacement cap for those. I also have to bend the leads on those capacitors because the original had 5.08 millimeters, and if I bend them apart like this, I can fit them in place. Solder this one. Now it's time for the other one. And I think that I will take them to the test chamber, do some mad science, electro boom kind of fun. Carrying out experiments. That was completely pun intended. What's the time? It's 11 to 1 a.m. here, which means that it's gonna be like 15 minutes before Fran has her stream. I absolutely love this. And Fran is my idol. I look up to her, and I absolutely love her channel. She's been very influential for me, not just as an electronic engineer, but also personally as a trans woman as well. So, okay, those were the 100 microfarad 25 volts. Here I've got a 100 microfarad 16 volts, and I can replace them with the readily available caps that I've got plenty of here. There's a very low risk of mistake if I populate the board with those long lead caps first, and then go on soldering all of them. And it saves time, so I will just try to desolder them. It's somewhere here. Where are you? Where are you, kitty? Where are you? Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? Here it is. This is gonna be a 47 microfarad 16 volts. It looks like it's here. The negative is on the upper side. And I have two of them, so I need to look for the... Yes, here I've got them. Bend the leads apart just a bit. This one I should solder in place right away because I can forget where it was, and I don't want to make the mistake of leaving an unsoldered connection, because that might blow the amp and all my work would go to nothing. And here's the other one in a kinda difficult to access location. The positive is closer to me. Here it goes. Bend them apart. Solder them. Yes, so now it would be 22 microfarad. Let me take a look at the schematic first, because I don't exactly know if I can replace them with a larger value. This is marked 47 microfarad, I say, right? 22 microfarad. Oh, it's just filter cap in the feedback section, and it goes through a 1 kilo ohm resistor, so I'd rather have something larger here. I guess a good quality capacitor suitable for audio could be in place here. So, oh yeah, the friend stream is starting. Beauty, beauty, and joy forever. Where are you? Here. Clive talking. Franlab Blues playing. And I'm just sitting here at the bench, repairing this amplifier. with still a few capacitors left to go. And here, two more of them. No, not this one. This one? Not this one. Where is it then? One. No. Oh, yeah, this must be this one. Oh! Oh, come on! That's a lot longer than I thought. Who knows? Maybe it can be replaced with a C201. This is the... Is it the coupling capacitor here? Oh. It was originally meant to be 0.68 microfarads. I wonder if I can find a non-electrolytic capacitor for this.